Hey, welcome back to Kari Moody. We have a few updates on the Audrii Cunningham case and Steven McDougal, who was arrested yesterday for the death of Audrii Cunningham. So the first one is, do you guys remember in my last video that I told you about an awful incident with a husband and a wife, and Steven had allegedly taken a pipe to the husband's head? All right, so we now have the victim of that August assault, the August assault that Steven was originally taken in charges for, right? So we have his interview. We also have the girl that it was her husband that was assaulted with that pipe over the head. The second thing we have is a store clerk, and she says that she saw Steven McDougal just a few hours after Audrii went missing. And then finally, we have the arrest affidavit. So let's get started. This is going to be a very brief, quick video. Again, I appreciate you for being here. Let's get started. All right. Again, welcome back. Like I said, in my last video or live, I'm not sure which one it was, I talked about this situation where this woman and her husband had taken Steven somewhere, and she claims that Steven started hitting her head, or her husband's head, with a pipe. So real quick, this is her video, her interview. As far as I know, is the only one that we have. It came from Trinity County Media on Facebook. So let's give that a watch.
All right.
My name is Caitlin, and in 2019, my child's father filed a case against Steven McDougal. He was residing next door to us where we were living. He asked us for a ride to take him somewhere. He said he had to work the next day or something like that. I'm sorry, I can't really remember. It was a long time ago. We were friends with him at the time. He seemed like an okay guy. Steven puts on like a really big front in front of people. He acts like he's a nice guy.
We've heard that from multiple people.
Like a stand-up person that would help you do anything, that would give the shirt off his back. But in reality, in 2019, we gave him a ride, and he took us down this county road. Like the ride there, though, like he was all joking with us. He was laughing. It was like everything was okay. He was our friend. But when we pulled down the county road, he started acting a little bit different. He started getting quiet. He asked me to use my cell phone. I gave him my cell phone to use, and then I was kind of like wondering, like he never made a phone call, so it started clicking in my head. He hid the cell phone in the back seat to where I could not find the cell phone. He told us to pull into this little side road off of this county road. There was no house there, so then it started raising a red flag in my head. He asked my child's father to step out of the vehicle with him to walk him back there because my child's father had asked for a cigarette. And then I started getting a really weird feeling in my stomach. So I was like, I'm going to walk with y'all. I stepped out of the vehicle. As soon as I turned my head to the left, all I could hear was my child's father screaming, stop, stop. And all I could see was a metal pipe going up in the air. He started beating my child's father in the head with the pipe. So I went into panic mode. I tried to find my cell phone. Tyler did fight him off. Tyler had him on the ground a couple times, but he had the pipe, so it was a little bit stronger than Tyler was. I was finding my cell phone. I found my cell phone in the back seat. I called 911. Tyler was laying in the ditch while Steven was hitting him in the head with the pipe. I was on the phone with 911. I told the dispatcher what was happening.
Unbelievable.
Steven looked at me while I was on the phone. I started to get nervous. Then he come after me with the pipe and said, Caitlin, put the phone down. I said, no, Steven, I'm not. They know your name. They know where we are. They're gonna take you to jail. So you have the opportunity to run right now and leave Tyler alone, or you can go to jail. So like something clicked in his head, like I seen his whole face change. He took off running through the woods, and Tyler was standing there with blood coming from his head. The ambulance had to check him out and stuff. My point of the situation is, why I'm speaking out about Steven McDougal is, I know a lot of people are like blaming other people for the situation that's going on at hand, but to be honest, like, Steven McDougal portrays himself to be a good guy. He portrays himself to be a good person, and he does dark, unthinkable stuff when nobody's paying attention. And
like I just said, that's what we've heard from multiple people. That's why I don't blame the grandma.
The only person that needs to be blamed is most likely.
Let me just pause this real quick. This is something I've been saying all along. Everybody's like, well, why didn't grandma, do a background check? Do you guys really do a background check on your friends? I know I don't. And I know for a fact that I found out later on that maybe those friends weren't quite what I thought they were going to be. But usually it's because, something they showed me. I don't think to go and look up everybody's damn background. And I'm in true crime. But I don't do that. I don't find fault. And I'm sorry if that pisses people off, but I don't find fault with your grandmother. I don't find fault with the mother. The person I find fault with is the person that has been charged with this crime. That's who I find fault with.
Him, he's not a good person at all. He has a very dark side to him, but when everyone's around, he's a nice guy. That's what he portrays himself to be.
Crazy, huh? All right. So the next thing I have is the video of the let me get rid of that. Sorry about that. So this is the actual victim of the reason why Steven McDougal was actually arrested the other day, right? So originally he was not arrested for anything related to Audrii Cunningham, but we know that's what law enforcement does. They're going to bring you in on a charge that will hold. A charge that will hold. And that assault charge from, I think they said August. All right. So this is the victim in that case.
From that first assault, says McDougal was a former coworker who came over one night with friends.
They were drinking and he just got more belligerent as the night went on, and we ended up throwing him out of the house, and he come back with a knife. I opened the door up and told him he needed to leave, and he come at me with the knife, and I had my shotgun and I hit him in the face with it and shut the door on him.
Now McDougal is being held without bond here at the Polk County Jail. He's been in custody since last Friday. He was arrested then on a separate charge for another assault. At the Polk County Jail, Stephen Goen, KHOU 11 News.
Stephen, thank you. We're also learning more about the unrelated charge that got the suspect arrested after Audrii's disappearance.
All right, so I thought that was the suspect of the charge that he was just charged with, right? Apparently not. So there's 2 incidents that we know of for sure. Well, actually 3, because we have the lady with the husband and the pipe. Now we have this story with a knife. Let's see what they're going to say. And by the way, this is KHOU 11. They've done an amazing job covering this story.
McDougal was picked up Friday on an aggravated assault charge. Records show McDougal allegedly stabbed a man in the back last August. We spoke with the attorney of the victim, who tells us his client reported the assault to the Polk County Sheriff's Office, and days later McDougal was identified but never charged in that case until last Friday.
They could have gotten Steven McDougal off the streets and probably prevented what we're going through now. And so that's his mindset. He's absolutely emotionally devastated, feels extremely
it's very sad.
Really, really bad for the family, and just doesn't really want to take the attention away from Audrii Cunningham.
The attorney wants to know why nothing was done before Audrii went missing. At this time, he wants to be respectful of the family.
I think we all want to know that.
In the Polk County Sheriff's Office.
We are updating our coverage of this case online. You can watch it all streaming on.
All right. So the next thing is that the store clerk, she said that she saw Steven McDougal just hours after Audrii Cunningham disappeared.
When did you see McDougal?
I saw him Thursday morning. It wasn't early morning. I want to say after 9, probably. I can't remember what he bought. I want to say it was like some change for gas. But it could have very well even been a couple of beers. I just can't remember because I didn't know I was supposed to remember. But I do know that he was here because he's so ugly. And
that's really understandable.
It's a face you don't forget.
So you say it was after the fact, after you realized that this guy's involved with this situation, that it clicked. What made you remember him being in front of your counter? When
I saw his mugshot, when he was a person of interest, when like Thursday night, Friday morning, when they put his picture on Facebook.
What was it that was like, I know that guy?
His tattoos and his ugly face. His
His
hair, yeah, his hair.
She said his ugly face.
Was he alone? Was he with anybody?
He was by himself.
He was by himself.
Give you a vibe that's like, this guy's up to something?
No.
Did you call the police, let them know he was here?
Yes, I did.
And what did they do?
They came right over here and wanted to look at the cameras. They responded within probably 10 to 15 minutes of me calling.
Any luck on the cameras?
I don't know. I have no idea. I wasn't here. It was my day off that day.
Did you feel a need to say something, to do something, knowing that there's a little girl at stake?
Yes, absolutely. My daughter knows the mama. So, and we've known the little girl.
Good on her.
She was smaller.
See something, say something. More people have to start doing it.
Anything else you had in there? Anything else that stuck out to you?
He's just evil, I guess.
He is just evil.
One way or another, we need her.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yes.
A family friend named as a suspect in the disappearance of Audrii Cunningham is now charged with capital murder. In just the last 10 minutes, we have learned Don Steven McDougal went before a judge and is being held on no bond. This after Audrii's body was found yesterday. Ugochi Iloka joins us from the
Again, this is from KHOU 11.
And Ugochi, obviously this is not the news the community was pulling for.
As an autopsy on Audrii Cunningham awaits to be conducted at the Harris County Medical Examiner's Office to figure out how she died, the man investigators say allegedly killed her is waiting behind bars for a capital murder bond hearing. This is the latest mugshot taken of 42-year-old Don McDougal on the 17th after he was arrested Friday for an unrelated aggravated assault charge. Audrii went missing last Thursday when she never made it to the school
Sweet
bus
little
stop.
girl.
Authorities say Audrii's backpack was found near the Trinity River Dam the very next day. McDougal, who investigators say lived in a trailer home behind Audrii's house, was a family friend who would drop her off at school or at the bus stop. He admitted to law enforcement he left the family home with Audrii 6 days ago. Conversations with McDougal and evidence collected through cell phone analysis, investigators say helped them locate the 11-year-old's body at Trinity River under U.S. Highway 59. The community, including family, mourned her death at a vigil last night. This week, staff at the Livingston ISD Elementary School Audrii attended are wearing purple in support of her. There's a memorial planned for tonight at 6 p.m. where people are encouraged to wear different shades of purple, like the colors you see I have on now, in honor of Audrii. Reporting in Livingston, Ugochi Iloka, KHOU 11 News.
All right. And then the next thing we have is the actual arrest affidavit. So this is state of Texas, county of Polk. By the way, state of Texas absolutely does have the DP, and the attorney general yesterday at the news conference said that if indeed the evidence points that way, they're going to pursue it. And you can bet your ass Texas is they're going to pursue it. Anyway, I think the most important, interesting thing on this part of it is that he refused to sign. So check one, I do not want a court-appointed attorney. The next line, defendant warned signature, and it says refused to sign. The other is no bond. No bond. And boy, did they make that clear, didn't they? So he's facing capital murder on a person under 10 years old. This was dated February 21st. And then this is the actual affidavit. So I'm not sure if it's affiant. Anyway, so the person writing this is Detective Kayla Hemperly, and she is employed with the Polk County Office of Criminal Investigations Division. She has over 6 years experience in the field of law enforcement. She also has specialized training in the field of murder offenses, assaults, crimes, and crimes against children, as well as other felony offenses. So she says that on the morning of February 15th, 2024, Polk County Sheriff's Office detectives' investigation revealed that the defendant, Don Steven McDougal, along with the child victim, Audrii Cunningham, left the home of the child victim in the Lake Livingston, Polk County, Texas area. McDougal and the child victim left in his 2003 Chevrolet Suburban with intent to drop the child victim off at the school bus near the entrance of the subdivision. It was discovered the child victim was not at that bus stop when a Livingston ISD bus arrived at the location and discovered the child did not make it to Creekside Elementary School that day. It also shows that on February 20th, 2024, the body of 11-year-old child victim Audrii Danielle Cunningham was located during a search of the Trinity River. Man, that was horrible. Law enforcement dive teams located the child victim's body within the Trinity River near State Highway 59 South at the Polk San Jacinto County line. San Jacinto County Justice of the Peace, C. McGee, ordered the child victim's body to be transported to the Harris County Medical Examiner's Office for an autopsy and to determine the cause of death. I don't even know if I want to hear those details, you guys. If you saw me yesterday in the press conference when they announced that they had found her deceased, I probably should not have done that live. I almost didn't do it because I knew I wouldn't get through it. And it was awful. Again, this Detective Kayla Hemperly says that the video footage and cell phone data places McDougal at 3 locations of interest. Evidence in connection with the defendant and the child victim was located at 2 of those locations and recovered. One of these locations is the Trinity River near State Highway 59 South, where Audrii's body was later located. It goes on to say that it will show throughout the investigation that investigators were able to determine through cell phone data, video footage, and other forensic evidence that McDougal lied about his whereabouts and his activities on the day of February 15th, 2024. It further shows that upon recovery of the child victim's body, Audrii Cunningham, this was a little rough, you guys. We knew, I think we kind of all knew. What I think we thought was that it was going to be the weights, because remember, he was selling all that stuff, you know, the night he was sending all these women crazy messages and stuff on Facebook. He was selling those weights, and we saw in one of those pictures that the 25-pound weights, there was only one. So it was kind of assumed by the majority, I think, that he used that. So in this, it says, law enforcement discovered a large rock tied to the child victim's body. The rope used was consistent with rope that was observed in McDougal's vehicle on a traffic stop 2 days prior. I also think that we did see or hear at least of evidence that they had brought, some rope out, at least as evidence there at the river. And then it shall further show that through investigation, there is sufficient evidence to show that on the date of February 15th, 2024, said defendant Don Steven McDougal committed the offense of capital murder. Unreal. Dated the 20th day of February 2024. So here's kind of my final thoughts on this until we hear more. I don't know if the mom realizes this yet. It's my opinion only, but it is my opinion that mom avoided something very awful. That's what I think. Had she met up with him, yeah, I think he would have done away with her as well. And then he was going to try to pin all of this on the biological mom. And of course, if they can't find her and they can't find the little girl, and then they see those messages, that mom was trying to see her and what have you, and his deranged, whatever, I'm going to say is probably meth fueled, just because that his actions kind of speak that, but maybe he wasn't. But I really think the mother avoided tragedy herself. And I think personally, I think that she is very lucky. Very, very lucky. Last night they did have a vigil for her. Grizzy Hood News was the only media that was allowed at that vigil. I'm not going to show that, but you can always go to Grizzy's Facebook, and she also has a YouTube channel. So either one of those will show you. And it looks like maybe about an hour and a half ago or so that the Lake Livingston area did indeed have a memorial for 11-year-old Audrii Cunningham. So that's the update. You know that I'm going to stay with this case till the very end. We are waiting on the verdict in the Adam Montgomery trial, Justice for Harmony Montgomery. The jury deliberated for about 2.5 hours or so, give or take, today. And they will resume at 9 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. I'm not going to just stream live until that verdict comes out, because who knows when. And I would rather be able to focus on other things that I need to focus on in other cases. But as soon as that verdict, that we are notified that the jury has a verdict, I absolutely will go live with that verdict. Let's see, the other update, I think, is the, oh gosh, what is his name? Berman, I believe. Anyway, the one that, SHOT, his boys outside of his home. So he had a hearing today. Chad Dorman. That's it. Chad Dorman. I knew I'd get it. But he had a hearing today to try to throw out his testimony of his confession. So I will do a video on that as well. If you haven't seen my other Chad Dorman videos, please go back and watch. There is a playlist for those, including all of the body cam footage. All right. With that, you guys, thank you so much for being here. I truly, truly, truly appreciate every single one of you. You guys have a good evening. Stay safe. Be kind to each other. Bye.